show. Michael Oldham, the McKinney North girls basketball coach, joins me. A very successful year so far for McKinney North. They're 14-4 overall and 5-0 in district play. And Coach, so far as the district games have gone, you've had a few games where you've just run away from opponents, and you've had a couple of good tests. It's not a district that has necessarily elite competition, but several good teams that can challenge you night in and night out.
Certainly, there's you got Lovejoy, Wiley East, Sherman, all well-coached teams, all with some athletes and coaches that know how to use them. So they're always going to give us a challenge, and knew that going in, knew that the Sherman and Lovejoy game would be a battle.
And Sherman, you end up winning by 5 points. And Lovejoy, you had to go to overtime in that game, but you shut them out in overtime. What was the difference in that game to help give you the win?
Well, the Lovejoy game, first half we really weren't getting to the paint, weren't really getting the ball to the free throw line or in a good position for shots, so we were shooting a low percentage. So in the second half we really focused on getting to the free throw line, and our defense was just solid the whole game, which coaches will often tell you that your offense isn't going to be there every night, but you can always count on your defense, and that's something we really focus on. And so holding them to 29 points even throughout the overtime, that's what won the game for us, that and getting to the free throw line.
Let's talk a little bit about earlier in the year. You started off your second game of the year with a big win over Irving MacArthur, who in the last 5A poll was number 3 in the state, and you won that game 66-55. How was your team, with a lot of young players, a lot of new players this year, able to take down an experienced team like MacArthur?
Well, just with our experience coming back, have 4 starters back with KK Connor, Amy Cleanhands, Shantiri Jackson, Jocelyn Scott. Had those back, Lauren Foster coming off the bench, Michaela Foy. Those returners, then you add in, a mix of freshmen that have played at a high level. And these kids just, they don't think they should lose. They think they should beat anybody they step on the court against. That's kind of the attitude they take. So I think they got a chance, and no matter who it is.
Your only 4 losses this year have come to 5A opponents, or in one case, a team in Arkansas in the tournament you played. They're in the top classification of Arkansas basketball. So what kind of confidence does that give your players to know that, in 4A, they haven't lost anybody yet?
Well, it gives us a lot of confidence. Our 5A schedule is by design. Coach Little's kind of started it before I got here. It's always been a philosophy of mine to go play good 5A programs, play better than what you're going to play down the road, to build that confidence. And I can always draw back on that, that this is not the best team you've played this year. We've played some of the best teams. So playing those teams, gets you ready for the speed of teams you're going to have to beat later on. Physicality, usually 5A teams are a little more physical, and they usually got a little more depth. So all those things combined, I think, will add to our confidence.
As I told you earlier, I had a chance to watch you guys in the Sandra Meadows Classic play a little bit, and one thing I was really impressed with was your full court press, your ability to create so many turnovers. You have such a deep bench, which allows you to keep fresh players in the game, any minute.
Definitely. I've always wanted to be able to run full court man-to-man. We started working on it last year. Probably didn't have the depth to run it for 32 minutes like we do this year. But this year, just with the depth we've got, with all the returners and the new kids coming in that are capable of playing, we are able to rotate in, 4 or 5 people at a time and keep that pressure on. And I would say against Wagner, it ultimately won us the game, because I don't think we seized the lead in that game to the last 2 or 3 minutes. And basically it boiled down to they got a little tired and we got a turnover here or there when we needed it. So it's definitely a strategy, and one that we can use with our depth.
And offensively, teams are trying to play zone on you. You mentioned to me earlier, and they're trying to force you to shoot over, but you're patient because there's no shot clock in girls basketball. You can go and wait for that chance inside to punish them.
Yes, our philosophy versus man or zone is to get the ball to the paint one way or another, whether it's ball screens, ball movement, off the bounce, whatever it happens to be, to create a good shot and free throw opportunities. And so that's what we focus on. We got patient players that kind of know what the mission is, and so we've been able to handle that zone that most people run at us.
Last year you had an early exit in the playoffs. You're a bit disappointed with that. Talk about the leadership coming into this year with some of those experienced players returning.
Well, I know KK, Amy, Tootie, those are 3 captains. Their goal's been to, I guess, fix the wrong that went last year with the early exit. They are, super focused on making a strong and a long run this year.
Going into the rest of district play, you have a tough game against Wiley East coming up tomorrow night, and that's going to be one. They're right behind you in the district standings at 4-1. Talk about the importance of taking care of business. Well,
I know Coach Edge at Wiley East. I know he's talking to his kids about if we can pull this win off, we're going to be tied for first place. So I'll be talking to my kids about the same thing. They've got a really one really good player and a good supporting cast. So it won't be a game where we can just run out and go win. We're going to have to really execute. They'll be well prepared for us.
Now, you play so many sophomores and freshmen in your rotation throughout the season, and it's sometimes tough for these young players to be able to adapt to a lot of these experienced players. But you've really seen a lot of tremendous growth in these players, these young players, that have been able to start in games for you.
Yeah, we've got some kids that have got some experience since the beginning of the year, proved themselves, and even returning players are getting better every day. With the level of talent we have in the gym every day, I tell the kids we should have the best 5-on-5 games in Dallas every single day. So we should get better every day just by going against each other.
And what are some of the things you're looking forward to in district to keep tinkering with in order to prepare for that playoff run that you want to have?
I think we just got to keep getting better, not just the 5 starters, but, everybody down the row, because as our style is of playing 10 or 11 people, everyone's going to get an opportunity to, make their mark at some way in a game, most likely. It might only be 2 or 3 minutes, but it might be the most 2 or 3 minutes of the game. So just that, we've got to continue to get stronger physically. And just stay in great condition so we can continue playing the style that we play.
And what, as a coach, do you expect to discover about the character of your team moving forward with these games?
Just keeping that same team mentality that they have had all year, not worrying about who plays what minutes, who scores what points, knowing that we're capable of 1 through 11 of having a leading scorer in that bunch. Lauren Foster came in Friday night, off the bench and had 12 points, and I think, 5 steals or something. So players coming in and filling those roles and excelling and things like that is what I'm always looking for.
It's a real nice problem to have as a coach when you have 11 or 12 players that all can be on the court and contribute equally.
It can be a two-edged sword.
Yeah, definitely.
It can be a very good thing as long as the kids and everyone involved, stay selfless and realize what our goal is as a team.
Well, certainly the philosophy has worked so far this year. 14-4 overall record, especially against the tough competition you've had. It's been a tremendous season so far, Coach Oldham. Thanks again for joining us.
I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
McKinney North's head coach Michael Oldham. They're 14-4, as I mentioned, overall, and they're 5-0 in district play. They're looking to sweep this district, try and remain undefeated. Tough game against Wiley East coming up, but if they can get past that, it looks like clear sailing ahead as they look to win another district title. I want to thank the coaches again for participating on the show today. We are going to switch gears once again next week as we go from talking girls basketball to wrestling. Be sure to tune in to find out who was triumphant on the mats this season. Until then, from all of us here at Sports Talk, I'm Tyler Sloan. Have a great week.